Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all very well indeed, guys. I'm sat here in my hotel room. I think we've got 2 more nights. So Wednesday we're out of here, moving back into a flat. So it's going to be very, very busy this week. So how are you guys all doing? Have you heard of the news? The news today, the bits and pieces that are out today. Phil Foden sent home in shame. We discussed that earlier on in the day. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more because Foden's put out a statement himself. Oh, well, I don't think he wrote it himself. I'm pretty sure he didn't write it himself. It looks like it could be a PR company, could be lawyers, even though I think there's a mistake in there in the language, in the English. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't him. And then what else has happened today? Mahrez and Laporte and Riyad Mahrez both tested positive for COVID-19. It also looks like a young fella, Angelino, is on his way out as suspected. He's on his way out, and as who am I? I'm certainly not in the know, but as I suggested, he would be. He's way down the pecking order. And City have done what they were doing because they were expecting. They got him back last season, if you remember, from PSV, purely, in my opinion, as a cover for Mendy at the start of the season because he was not fit, and then they knew they would flog him on. They'd be able to flog him on for a reasonable profit, and that is what it looks like is going to happen. So let's see who is here. Is anybody with me? Hey, Aaron, Beyond 100 Gaming, Zachary, Molloy, Danny, Adam. Let's see what you guys are saying. Greenwood is a bad influence. I don't think it's that, Aaron. I mean, Greenwood's 18 years old. I think people will probably say it's the other way around. Foden's a bad influence. Foden's the elder statesman, let's say. He's 20 years old. Zachary, tomorrow's been a bad. Absolutely, mate. Really, it's not been good. Have we put in a bid for Jimenez? That's what reports say beyond Ultra Gaming, and it says it's been turned down. But from what I understood, that was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? I do remember something like Jimenez a few weeks ago, so I'm a bit surprised that it's come back. But I did read something about some guy making it up a couple of days ago, or yesterday or the day before, saying, I can't remember now what he was doing. He was just pretending to be an aggregator, and he put that story out there. And it is conceivable that someone seen that story and copied it. That's it. And then it starts to spread. It does. I mean, I've seen stuff that I've written and 2 days later someone else has got hold of it. And you do wonder sometimes, some of these big outlets, are they just looking for a story? They don't care about the legitimacy of the story, the credibility of the story. I'm not saying mine are not credible, but they don't care. They just want to put something out. When you're going to put something out for clickbait, you've got to put something out for clickbait. So all sorts of rubbish comes out. Would you want him, Jimenez? 70 million or something? That's a lot of money. Danny, how you doing, buddy? Adam, hi. Zachary, we need Haaland as a Aguero replacement. The goals he scored today. Look, the thing is, if we wanted him, we have to deal with Mina Raiola. I don't think that's going to happen. And the funny old thing is, as well, I saw something on him not so long ago. Now, I was under the impression he was, only from reading stuff, that he'd be available with a release clause of 80 million. I think someone said, if you want him now, you want to pay 200 million for him because he's just ridiculously on fire. Danny, we can't shift the blame on Greenwood on this. They are both at fault. Phil has a wife and a child. He should know better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And all, I'm sorry, anybody says, what a good old boy, what a Phil, what a lad, what a player. I'm sorry, guys. That's it's not the way I roll. You might roll different ways, and that's up to you. But look who he's let down. Let's talk about Phil. He's let down, forget about himself. I'm not bothered about that. He's let down his missus. He's let down his kid. He's let down his family. Okay. On top of that, he's let down his manager. He's let down his teammates. He's let down the country. I'm not trying to make it too dramatic, but he's let everybody down. That game against Denmark could have been called off because of Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood. and what they got up to. That game could have got called off. That is going to be horrendous. Financially, it's going to be terrible. The future of Foden, I mean, he could have found himself as an outcast and missing the Euro 2021 or 2020, whatever they want to call it. He could have missed the Euros next year, because of what he's done. He could have put at jeopardy all the other players. Because listening to briefly a report or a chat with Gareth Southgate, the question was put to him, and Gareth Southgate didn't want to say too much. It was put to him and said, do the players now have to, Mason Greenwood and Foden have to quarantine for 14 days? Because as elite athletes, they broke the rules and they have to quarantine for 14 days. Now, I don't know, actually, the rules from Iceland back to the UK. But if they are that, if you come from Iceland to the UK, you have to quarantine for 14 days. If they've broken the rules as elite sportsmen, then do they have to now quarantine as anybody else would? That's going to be very interesting to, I'm sure we'll find out over the next 24 hours or so. So they let everybody down. And not only that, if that's true, they could have compromised all of the England squad. All of the England squad. And they've got games this weekend. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs. I'll be honest with you. Don't know the ins and outs and how long they'd have to quarantine the rest of the squad if this had happened. But it's just it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy what they've done. Even if you want to put the laddish side of it aside, what they've done to their teammates, and what trouble they could have caused, it's absolutely pathetic. Can't you control yourselves just for a little bit? Zachary. All right, Zachary. I will try and get your name right. It was the Malloy that was more worrying. Zachary. Phil Foden. Yeah, he's lost his England place, Adam. And he's only just got it. And I'm proud to have this England place. I'm proud of this and proud of that. But I can't keep that dangling thing between my legs in my pants. What do we call him now? Phil the Snakes Foden. Feel I can't keep my pants on Foden. I'm disappointed, guys. I'm not trying to make it dramatic. I'm disappointed by his behaviour. I really am disappointed. And I think he'll get a rollicking from the club. He looks like he's going to get fined by the Icelanders, Icelandic judiciary or whatever, the police. I mean, look, in some countries, you could have gone to jail for this. I remember there's a fella in Taiwan. He came back to Taiwan and he was supposed to self-quarantine for 14 days. He went out clubbing. They caught him, 25 grand fine. 25 grand. And there's a woman in Australia, I've told this story before, who was out running without a mask. This was way back in April. She got deported. That's the second time she was caught. She was deported. What if he'd been locked up for 2 weeks or something, sent to prison for a month for what he'd done, jailbird. And yes, we've all done stuff wrong. I've done stuff that I'm not proud of. I'm ashamed of some of the stuff I did growing up. But you can't just write them off and just say, push them under the carpet. You've got to be responsible and accountable for your actions. And you've got to remember, age is not an issue here. You've got to remember that some of the stuff you do can affect your whole life. I'm not going to sort of put any conjecture out there what his missus is going to do to him. That moment of infidelity or whatever it was, that moment of, I'm not going to call it weakness, that moment of arrogance and brashness, and I'm a lad, okay, could have cost him his marriage or his life with his partner. I think they're married. So, a lot of issues around that. Jimenez wouldn't be a bad alternative to be on another game. Yeah, look, anybody playing in defence for Atletico. But you got to remember, I always say this, someone playing in a defence on a defensive team might look really good when all they've got to do is defend. But as soon as they've got to start bringing the ball out, passing the ball, you see what they're really like. And if you watch that video I did with Mac about Diego Carlos, it's very interesting what Mac said about Diego Carlos in a game for Sevilla. And he might look quite decent as a defender, and they did win the Europa League. He did have a few issues with some penalties, but he only carries the ball for 0.25 carries per game. 0.25, that's one carry every 4 games. When you've got someone like Laporte, I think Laporte was over 3. Otamendi's over 2, and stuff like that. So all our players are doing a few carries per game, and this fellow Diego Carlos is 0.25. Totally different style of football. Hi Harry, hope you're well, buddy. Hi Ikram. Where's Faris? Was it you, Ikram, asking for an evening stream, or was it Faris? I said I'll try. I'm here. I waited. Actually, I could have come on an hour earlier. I mean, I'm 10 o'clock in France. I could have come an hour earlier. And I said, no, I used to do the 9 o'clock streams. I'll do a 9 o'clock stream for either Faris or Ikram, who was asking for it. So I'm here. And he's not here. Haaland's a release clause of 60 million next summer. Unfortunately, his agent is Mina Raiola. And that's the problem, Azim. That is the problem. City don't want to deal with him. Arash Fear Dadwal, do you think City Aki will play most left back for City? Don't know, buddy. Honestly, we'll see him. He's playing for Holland at left back tonight. He might do it. He might do it, guys. 10 minutes in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Costs you absolutely nothing, and hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. Even now, I mean, 3 videos today. This is a second live stream. We did a video about Lucy Bronze earlier today. And we cover, I've got to big us up a little bit. We cover the men's team, the women's team. We'll do some kids games. It's a shame I'm not in the UK and we can't go to academy games because I'd have been trying to follow the EDS lads in the Checker Trade Trophy. So we'll do as much football as we can on City. Right now, we stepped up our game on the women's side of things. So we do previews of all games, post-match reaction for all games, and we did a piece on Lucy Bronze today, and we've got hopefully a series of Audrey's going to work with me. Audrey, who did the piece with on Lucy Bronze, hopefully just arranging to do a series with her of about 20 videos. So we are serious, we are serious. It's one philosophy, one team, same same goals. So we're covering the women's team as good as we can. It's not. I'm not meant to have a pop at other people. Just don't misconstrue me. But it's not just a one-off. Yeah, it's not just here's. I'm sorry, got an itch on my foot. It's not just here's a Manchester derby. Let's cover that. It's not just here's an FA Cup game or something, or a Champions League game and Man City women are playing. Let's cover that. Our aim is to cover every single game this season. That's our aim. There are issues. Because the games you can't go to them. And if they're not on telly, how do you cover it? That is an issue. So, for instance, the FA Cup game coming up, that so far hasn't been put forward for television. And since we can't go there and it's not televised, how are you going to cover it? We can cover the preview and then maybe cover it after we see some highlights. It's not the same, guys, but we'll try our best. But that's the point. We'll do whatever we can to do with Man City. Yeah, and as Adam says, smash a like, guys. Let's keep those likes going early because we know we get some silly people in the house who will give us a down tick. Sky Sports have rights for Nations League. Should it have been BBC and ITV? Yeah, actually, I'm surprised to see that Sky Sports have got those rights. But I suppose it's because the bigger tournaments are on terrestrial TV. Things like the World Cup, the Euros, they have to be on terrestrial TV. And this has come along. It's not in legislation, I suspect, the Nations League. It's not a big, important competition. And that's why Sky can get their grubby, and I'll say that again, grubby little hands on this. Danny, I'm extremely disappointed in Phil, but I think we need to support our players. With that said, fine him a couple of weeks' wages. Yeah, look, Danny, if we say nothing, then we'll be accused of being hypocrites, and we are, because we are quite happy as fans to have a pop at Liverpool players or United players or whatever when they've done some misdemeanor. So we're quite happy to have a pop. So we should be ready to accept our players when they misbehave, when they cross that line, when they deserve it. They deserve it. And look, I will be supportive of our players, but I will criticise them when they deserve criticising. I'm not a happy clapper. I'm not the kind of guy who says everything's rosy in the garden. And I'm not, I don't want to be the kind of guy who's depressed all the time. Like there was one big City YouTuber who was very miserable. He was earning good money, but he was still miserable about doing the videos. So, I try and give my opinion. I try and be honest. I might get it wrong sometimes. I very rarely get it wrong, in my opinion. But Pep might drop him a couple of games to teach him a lesson. Well, the thing is, if he has to quarantine now and he misses 2 weeks, he can't train with the guys. If he can't train with the guys, how can he play? So, excuse me, not only has Phil Foden embarrassed himself, let a lot of people down, his family and club, country, teammates, and all that, he's missed the England game. And he might end up missing 1 or 2 games for City. Because if he's not training with the guys, then how can he play that first game? And maybe somebody else has a really good game, and Pep says, "I'm going to leave you in, Foden. You have to work your way back." So no, you've got to keep that snake in your pants, guys. When for stuff like that, it's just unbelievable. You drop him. Well, it was Farris, and Farris ain't here now. I thought it was Farris. I've done all this. I kept stream back by 1 hour for Farris. He'll turn up, right? He'll turn up at 10 o'clock UK time. And I'm not going to go. I'm just south of Paris, Coyo. No, I'm not in Manchester at all. Not in Manchester at all. We're moving into a new flat on Wednesday, renting a new flat. We're just waiting to see. I mean, it's all a mess because of what's messed us up is this quarantine situation. So my wife can't move around with her work. So that's our problem. So instead of my wife being on her own for ages, we've all up sticks and come to France. My kids are going to do the first term schooling online, like they've done during lockdown. So we'll get that sorted out. But it's a real pain in the backside to have. It's obviously costing us a fair wedge to have to do this, but we'll keep the family together. You can't have the situation where someone's on their own and then you won't see your kids for 6 weeks. Some people can do that. Some people can do that, but the way we've lived our lives, the decisions we've made as a family is to spend time together. Because, there'll be a time when my kids go to university, grow up and move out. And that'll happen soon enough. My eldest is 13. But, we consciously made a decision to try and stick together and spend time with our kids. We wanted to spend as much time as we could with our kids rather than send them off to creche and with other people, some of them who might not care so much about the kids as we do. Hi, Akash, hope you well. City ladies played well against the villains. Harry, yes and no, in my opinion. We got 2 goals from their mistakes at the back. We had a hatful of other chances. We should have scored some. That's the truth. You can't go through games and not score. Ellen White had a shot that hit the post. I think she thought she was offside. We had other chances to score, and we really should have scored some more goals. Thanks, Go here, for a super sticker there, buddy. I didn't even know I had super stickers on. So I'll say a big thank you to Go here. Put your name up in lights. Thank you much, Go. Your name will stay there. So 30 dislikes, Go here. Well, I think we know where they come. I think we know where they emanate from. 30 is a lot. 30 is a lot. The whole point of the dislikes is to get us to talk about the dislikes so that we veer off the topic. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Don't worry about it, guys. Funnily enough, when YouTube gets around to looking at them, most of them disappear. We had the same yesterday, actually. Then we had the same yesterday. And within 2 or 3 hours, YouTube gets around to automatically looking at these, and they just get most of them, if not all, get shifted. So let's not worry. Kira, no one's ever late. You can always watch the videos again later. So, Harry, I think we played reasonably against Villa, but we should have scored more. Yeah. And the 2 games we played so far, I've been disappointed. Obviously, we lost against Chelsea, but Chelsea looked a better side. They deserve to win anyway. And I don't think we look good enough against Villa. You've got to remember, Villa are a team that have just been promoted. Yeah. So that's an issue for us a little bit, because they're not that great a side. You'd expect, having just been promoted. It's the first time in the FA Women's Super League. Was it United buying 2 American, or getting 2 American players? If you've seen some of the stuff we've done, I think with chatting with Jenny and chatting with Audrey, they're looking at other teams buying players. Chelsea buying, was it Sam Kerr? United buying 2 Americans. It's going to be a tough all season. And, I've not even mentioned Arsenal yet. So it's going to be really, really intriguing and interesting how this season unfolds. And we're going to have to step up. If we want to win this FA Women's Super League and we want to make a mark in the Champions League, we have to step up. And I don't think we're good enough from what I've seen so far. Yes, it's only 2 games in, but we need to step up. Akash, if Foden got infected and spread it to all the England team with Premier League to start in less than a week, serious breach of absolutely. I mean, it's not the season is not miles away. It's the first game on Friday or Saturday. It's not miles away this season. It's this. We're talking this weekend, Friday night, isn't it? First game. We're talking 4 days away. I better start. Oh, guys, I will sort the Fantasy Football League out since we're about to start and I haven't picked my team yet. All I know is I'm going to have Nick Pope in goal. That's it. And actually, Messi not arriving has made my Man City's picks easier, because it's KDB, Sterling, and well, it was going to be Foden, but it could be KDB, Sterling, and Aguero. Depends if he's fit for the start of the season. But KDB and Sterling, I don't think you can not have them. Maybe Mahrez. But that's what I'm thinking. But the thing is, City don't play the first week. So if you're going to spend a lot of money on people like Mahrez, on Sterling and KDB, and they're not playing, and you can only make 1 sub for free, it's complicated. Will Lucy come back home, says Harry? I hope so. How confident am I that Lucy will come home? More than 95% confident, Harry. It'll be a shocker if Lucy doesn't come home now. It really will. I'd still say, hey, how you doing, buddy? You're anxious to know our starting 11? No idea, mate. If I was thinking about it now, I'd say Edison, Walker. If you hear some noises over there, it's my missus playing Tetris and losing. Just watching. I can hear the music, and she gets exasperated when she loses. Because she used to be really, really hot at Tetris when she was a kid. Anyway, so Edison, Walker. I think if Laporte gets back from I don't know the quarantine situation, so that's a problem. Matters if he's ready to play, then I'd have. Would you even try Aki and Laporte, or would it be Otamendi or Stones and Laporte? I'd actually go with Stones and Laporte. I wouldn't pick Garcia. I'd have Cancelo at left back. I'd love to have Fernandinho back as defensive midfielder. laughing at my wife. She must have lost at Tetris. And then who else? I reckon it's going to be Rodri. In front of Rodri, I wouldn't pick Foden and let him stew for a little bit. I'd pick Bernardo Silva with KDB and up front if Mahrez is back. And I'll put Ferran Torres in, stuff Mahrez. Oh, forgive me, I didn't mean it like that. I'll get to some complaints. But I would put Ferran Torres in. He's the kid's on fire at the moment. An assist last week and a goal as well for his national team. So in the previous game, so I put Ferran Torres if Aguero's fit. Aguero if he's not. Gabby J and Sterling on the left. Hi, Jason. Hope you well, buddy. Yep, Akash Cancelo scored an amazing goal. No, not on the right. He'll start on the left. For me, he starts on the left. Hi, Dre. We will manage. Pep is a master of innovation and teaching others to fill gaps. Absolutely. Nick Pope, fair enough. He will be cheap. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You rely on the cheapness of the keeper and McCarthy. Ryan's a good option. Ryan's a good option at $4.5 million. Actually, I might have a look at him. See, my goalkeeper usually depends on how much I spent elsewhere. Hey, don't worry about it, Jason. 15 likes, 31 dislikes. It just means I got 31 extra views, so it saves them right. Harry, you're right. Until Eric puts pen to paper, he shouldn't play. Can't argue with that. I don't want him to play. You know, he's got to, like you say, until he signs a new contract, we shouldn't even think about letting him play. Honestly, because what we're doing, if he's going to leave at the end of next season, especially for free, so not only we're losing about 20 million quid on the kid, okay, which is bad enough. We lose 20 million quid by not selling him this summer. And on top of all that, he's not going to be around. So why would you want someone who's not going to be around? Why are you going to help to develop somebody who is not going to be around next season? I just don't see the point. Just don't see the point, guys. I'm just going to quickly. So that for me, Garcia shouldn't play. Garcia shouldn't be taking up a place of somebody in the EDS even. Honestly, why should Garcia? Forget the first team. I wouldn't have him in the first team at all. So until he signs that new contract, nah, forget it, buddy. Should we move on? I'm going to move on to Angelino. I mentioned it already, but I'll mention Angelino again. It looks like Angelino is going to RB Leipzig. Looks like it's going to be about 20 million euros, they say. I think City wanted more. I thought it was 25. It depends where you read the story from. Now, I've heard the story is that we had a 25 million euro release clause. Okay. And now I'm reading a story that our release clause is 20 million euros. And that's what's been exercised. I don't know, to be honest, guys. We're just reading what the journalists say, and there are a few journalists who have some idea, but most of them have no idea. I hope Messi comes to City in 2021, Jason. I'm not so sure. Look, I think that powers that be, the higher, the accountants and stuff, they want Messi still. Messi brings with him this aura. He brings with him plenty of sponsorship. He brings with him plenty of brand enhancement value. He's going to push City's brand like crazy in parts of the world that we're not massively in. He'll push it in Asia, Africa, South America, North America, all over the world. Messi is the dude, and he'll really push us forward quite a bit. Pep is still going to play him. No, that's us. Pep. If Pep plays Eric Garcia, then I'll be really, really disappointed. If Eric Garcia is not going to sign a contract, then we should do the same to him that he's doing to us. I'd be really disappointed if Pep plays him. Honestly, unless we've got no other option, I'd be really disappointed. Any more? So Angelino. I was on the road to Angelino. Angelino, look, he's a kid who's been with us for a while. We had him. We sent him out on loan. He's been to New York City FC. He's been to Girona. I think he went somewhere else as well. Did he go to NAC Breda as well? And I think he had a great season. And we sold him to PSV for about The rumours are 5 to 6 million euros. And we had a buyback clause inserted in his contract. And last summer, when people were sniffing around him, City said, all right, we'll exercise that buyback clause. Ben Mendy won't be ready for the start of the season. So we'll get Angelino back as cover. He had a shocking pre-season tour. He was embarrassing. He wasn't brilliant in the games that he played. But it's one of those things, he's new to the system and he needs time, And but when Mendy was back, we were confident he was fit. Angelino was relegated down the list. We had Zinchenko, Mendy. Angelino was third choice. And then even at the end of the season, Cancelo's moved over to the left. So he would have been fourth choice. So, he went off in the January transfer window to RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig. And obviously he played really well for them in the Champions League and in the league. And they wanted him. And obviously with the COVID-19 situation, we weren't sure. But hopefully he'll be gone now and we'll get 20 million euros for him, which is almost all profit. It's good numbers for your accounts. Hi, GSG, hope you're well. What's the situation with John Stones? I've heard nothing about that. I've heard nothing about John Stones. Not seen anything from journalists, the media, or anything out there. I've not heard anything from a couple of people I know. I've not heard anything. The last I knew of it was when Pep's kind of said John Stones needs to go out, needs to move on. He didn't say he needs to leave. My preferred option is to send him out on loan. He's 26 years old. He just needs a season of playing a lot of games, getting his confidence back, getting his fitness back, and getting the right attitude back for John Stones and come back stronger. And it would be really galling if he goes away. If we sell him for 20, 30 million, he goes away, someone like Arsenal or Chelsea or wherever, and he gets that season and he comes and he's fantastic. And then you think this kid's worth 60 or 70 million and we wanted him back, but we sold him. So I'm really concerned about that. Mr. Roll-Up, I see City exercising their buyback clause for Douglas Luiz next summer to replace Fernandinho. Yeah, I actually thought they might do it this season. But I understand the reasons why they wouldn't. The thing about Douglas Luiz is he is a more like-for-like replacement for Fernandinho than Rodri. Pep went down a different path when he was trying to get Jorginho. Jorginho was more of a pivot kind of guy. Get the ball, pass the ball, get the ball, pass the ball. We didn't get him. And then the season after we got Rodri. And Rodri's the same as Jorginho. Get the ball and pass it. And I firmly believe one of the issues for last season, people have a go at the defence. They really have a go at them. That's one of the big problems was, I believe, besides not scoring goals when we were creating lots of chances, the loss of Fernandinho. Fernandinho had to play at centre-back because of Laporte's injury. I think that was a huge blow to us, a huge blow. So all these things have cost us, Douglas Luiz is a Fernandinho type. And at one point I thought maybe we get him back because his value is more than what Villa paid for him. And I think it's more, I think our buyback clause was about 25 million euros. That's what it was reported for this season. Someone said it was 30 million euros next summer. But, and the Villa guy I spoke to not so long ago about Douglas Luiz, he said he's worth more than 30 million right now, in his opinion. And he said, but the good thing is if he stays at Villa, he'll get another full season at Villa. He'll play 25, 30 league games, hopefully, at Villa. He'll get that experience and under his belt. And he'll be better prepared to come back and play for City next season than if he came now. He'd be struggling to get, he would get inside, but he wouldn't be playing, he might only play 10 games or 12 games in a season. Whereas at Villa, he might play 30, 35 games in a full season. Obviously, they've got FA Cup and Carabao Cup as well. So he could end up playing 40 games in a season rather than 12 to 15 at City. It makes sense to leave him at Villa, let him develop further. And if he carries on developing the way he's developing, bring him back next summer, either to keep him for ourselves or flog him on, because he's going to be worth more than 30 million quid. If he has another good season, I think someone will be willing to pay 40, 50 million quid for him. You might think that's a lot, but come on, Ismail Benasser's about 45 million. And Douglas Luiz just needs another good season to get up to that. Maybe not to up to that level, but to a good level. And he classes as homegrown because he's been on City's books, I think, for long enough. I think. I might be wrong, but I think. Because we've had him for 3 seasons on our books. And I need to check. It's one of those that I might be talking. No, let's have a quick look at it. Here's the easiest way for me to do it is have a quick look at his age. If he came when he was 18, then I think he's all right. I think he catches homegrown. But these homegrown rules and everything else, they're all little pernickety rules. So I might be wrong. He's 22 now. He was 22 in May. So when he came to City in 2017, he came to City. That's 15th of July. So with the lockdown, I think he would class as homegrown. I think he does, because this is the season of his 22nd birthday. Oh, guys, I don't know. I'll get called in on one day, and we'll go through the homegrown rules, because I keep forgetting that 21st birthday, or the season of his 21st or 22nd birthday. Do you think we will get Douglas Luiz back for, he's getting on? Yeah, he's Fernandinho's 35. I hope we get Douglas Luiz. Is it to get him back next summer? You just want to see what he does this year. I think that's the key. Does he play really well this year? If he does, then maybe he's right to come back next summer. But Ake will be Fernandinho replacement. Well, I think Ake's going to be on. He could be on the right hand side, but I think more likely he's a cover for Laporte and a cover at left back. Yeah, Harry, that's true. Villa supporters, people have said, especially after lockdown, he was their best player. He was their best player, better than Grealish. They said Douglas Luiz was consistently good. Arashvia, Ake just went off in the 80th minute. Apparently, it was cramp. It's nothing to worry about. If it's cramp, he's still got another 2 weeks before City play their first game. So it's not that I'd be worried about. Guys, I think that's my lot. 37 minutes. I waited for Faris, guys. I hope you watch this afterwards, Faris. I waited for you and did this stream at 9 o'clock UK time for my man Faris, because he's been around for a long time. I do try and have some little bit of loyalty to you guys, but Faris didn't show. So I will now get ready for bed, because I need a good night's sleep for a change. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Take it easy, and if you have watched this video all the way through on the repeat, thank you so much. And please, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Cost you nothing. Hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And if you can give us a thumbs up, it'd be really, really appreciated. Guys, take it easy. I will catch you tomorrow. There will be, once again, at least 2 videos tomorrow. Okay? So take care.